Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of NCW, also known as New Comic Wednesday. If you haven't been with us before, we chat for a few minutes every Wednesday about Zenescope's newest releases. If you don't know who I am your NCW host, Amber, and we don't have any fun emojis on this because this is my first time on Restream, so I apologize if things are a little bit different or a little bit weirder than I guess we normally do. But hi guys. So I'm going to see comments pop up, in the meantime, and I'm kind of not used to that. So, stay tuned and, watch me try to kind of figure this out, which is going to be new. Hi everybody. Hello. To catch Zenescope's news releases, you would head to our web store, zenescope.com, press comics, press new releases, and it will show you everything backwards from release date. So today's release, which we'll be talking about today, Belle Labyrinth, will be the first release that you see. And then from there, it will be every release backwards. So I think we talked about Hearts of Darkness last week. We had the cosplay May the 4th cover the week before. So make sure you don't miss our new release on the website. If you'd rather buy from your local comic shop, you can. And if they don't carry Zenescope, make sure that you ask them to carry Zenescope. On top of that, you can also catch our latest comics on Comixology. I was listening to one of my NCW streams and I say on top of that a lot, so I apologize everybody if I say that a lot. My bad. But I was laughing as I was watching old ones and said on top of that. And make sure that you never miss an NCW. You never miss a coffee with Casey and Noah. You never miss a VCon, aka what's happening tonight. So make sure that you you subscribe, and you push that notification bell. And we actually have Belle here instead of Robin here today, which is awesome, which is funny because we'll also be talking about Belle. So it is very appropriate. I'm excited to hang out with all of you guys today. I do have a special guest. I have writer, publisher Dave Franchini, who I just got to spend the entire weekend with at Motor City. And let me guys tell you that Dave is kind of the best. I can't see him in the background because it's a new platform, so I hope he's smiling. But Dave's awesome, and I love having Dave on the stream. And I love actually selling with Dave because he has such a passion and understanding for the character known as Belle, who we'll be talking about today. And I feel like he understands the female audience so well with this character. Every time we have a female person who has not read us before come to the booth and they ask me who I should start with, I said, every girl who I know is a die hard is I read Belle. Belle is my favorite. I feel like it's written really well. And I think that's a testament to Dave and how great of a job he's done with the Belle character. So today we have 3 covers, as always. Hi, Antonio. My fellow Cowboys fan, miss you lots. Hope to see you at the next VIP event or at a future event. Anyway, here are 3 wonderful covers that Casey will be flashing up. You'll be able to tell which cover is which. So you have cover A, B, and C. I really like all 3 covers for 3 totally different reasons. The first one feels more of a sketch cover to me, and that's what I saw from it. And I like sketch covers a lot because I feel like they're really unique. There's something about the penciling on this that I really love. The second cover is a very bright, I love purple, so I love a bright, vibrant cover. And C, is just a really, really well drawn, not portrait, but it looked like it could just be a photo of somebody. And I don't know, I love when we get to really showcase Belle's costume, which a lot of people love, and hopefully one day we will cosplay as. So here are 3 wonderful covers. As always, in the comments, tell me which is your favorite cover. Before I bring Dave on, I will read the synopsis of the story. And here we go. Legends speak of an ancient labyrinth, one filled with horrifying and deadly creatures, as well as the remains of the brave warriors foolish enough to trek its elaborate web-like corridors. But at the center of this dangerous network of blood and beasts lies the key to a world beyond our existence. And Annabelle, Belle DeMarco, is on a mission to scour the vast maze in search of a priceless reward. Getting in is easy, but finding her way out can prove more of a challenge than she imagined, because what she finds might cost her more than her life, as her soul hangs in the balance. 32 epic pages of epic content. So without further ado, I would like to welcome our writer and publisher, Dave Franchini.
Hello. Long time no see.
Hey.
Hey, what's up?
What's up?
I mean, my favorite cover this week is all of them because I'm glad that Casey
you
put it up as
don't
one
even let
giant
me
piece.
ask anymore.
She put it up as one giant piece, which is good. Still trying
You
to
don't even let me ask. You just jump in. You don't want to tell anybody. I feel like secretly you know. And one day, you know what? That's going to be my goal. At San Diego, I'm going to have a couple beers with Dave. I'm going to wait till he's drunk and I'm going to be like, Dave, I'm going to show you 3 covers. Which is your favorite?
I could probably tell you off the air. I can't tell you on here. I don't want to.
You would tell me off the air?
Maybe. We'll see. I prefer beers though, so the beer payment might be the way,
the way in.
Yeah. No, yeah. So this whole new thing's different. This restream, I like it.
It's so weird. Like I didn't know if you were in the backstage, if I was saying anything nice about you and you were booing me back there. Like I had no idea.
The whole time. I was just.
Oh, were you?
The whole time.
So before we dive into the story, how much fun did you have in Motor City?
The show was awesome. I mean, the show was crazy. Like we tons of new fans, which is really cool. Plus a lot of VIPs we got to meet, which was really cool. We captured somebody's iPad. That was fun.
Robert, quick shout out to Robert, our boy, who it is kind of awesome. I'll tell the story like very quickly, but he discovered Zenescope from going to a comic shop and then watching NCW, and that's the main show that he watches. And so when he got there, he was like, oh, he like immediately knew who I was and like the guest that I have. But it was kind of funny because he like looked at Ralph, wasn't really sure. And I was like, that's right. He's been a guest on my show. He didn't find the company or anything. He's not the founder.
No, it was crazy. Yeah, because he was saying like, because he kind of got out of comics and then he got back in. He was watching this and he's watching and that's what pulled him back in. Like, so yeah, it's pretty awesome. Like, I mean, it's a fun part about the conventions is you get to meet you get to meet the new fans, you get to make new fans, and then you get to meet everybody who's read our stuff or we've talked through the streams and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, it was fun. Like, I mean, Saturday we know it was crazy, and we got a lot of new paperbacks out there, new graphic novels out there to people, and single issues. So I mean, that's always my I know I love the collectibles, but my favorite thing is when we get new readers, when we get new people into the stories.
Me too. There was a girl who was like, oh, I really like to read comics. I want to try you guys out, but I don't know really where to start. And so I sold her on a Grim Fairy Tales, but we had a Belle 50 next to it. And I was like, you know, a lot of our female readers really like Belle. Dave's the writer. I was like, I'm just going to give you 50. Like, I hope you enjoy it. And I hope we gain you as a writer. And so in
25.
But why do I did that before too. Why do I keep doing that?
You're time traveling. I mean, I would like to know what happens at 52, but
Hershey dies. Anyway, so what happened was I went to the bathroom and she literally was in the bathroom next to me. She's like, oh my God, I just read Belle 25. That's right, I got it. I just read Belle 25. It was such a great read. I'm definitely going to read more of Belle. Like, you were right. I really like her. And then I went back and I was like, I have to tell Dave that the girl literally stopped me in the bathroom to tell me how much she liked that.
It's a good sign, I guess. It's got bathroom stopping powers. I don't know. Like that that makes me feel good. Like no, that's awesome. Yeah, when you told me, I was like, that like it is. It's like the coolest feeling because you don't get to, I mean, we can read reviews and stuff like that. We can kind of see some comments or we get emails now and then talking about like the stories and things like that. But like it's really cool when you get like the first experiences, like first account experiences with like people like actually really liking what we do, which is awesome. Yeah, that's why I love the conventions. They beat me up. My voice is like kind of off. And it took me like 2 days to get a good night's sleep, but like I love them. So I mean, I'm gonna do all of them because Amber needs me to do all the conventions to come out there.
I really do. And then I give Dave dates, and he's like, "I'm sorry, I'm busy." I'm like, "No, Dave, no." But Dave will be joining us at San Diego, and he'll be joining us at New York. And he doesn't know it, but I'll probably beg him to go to some other show. He'll say no to C2 and Emerald, but if you guys put it in the comments a lot, then, you know, maybe he'll feel obligated that he has to go. So.
We'll see. We'll see.
Oh, there's Robert. There's
Oh,
our
awesome.
there's our boy Robert who we
Oh,
met.
that was cool. Had a little swipe in.
I know it's crazy how that. Anyway, I'll grab to the question. So, I feel like we haven't done a setback on a character in a while. So I feel like we haven't done like an origin story, and this kind of kicks off talking a little bit about Belle's origin story. So I just wanted to do a quick dive. Like, how did she become a beast hunter?
She was born and she became. No, I mean, like, it's basically it's her family legacy, and I mean, it's passed down literally through all the females in her bloodline on her mother's side. So like her mom was a beast hunter, her grandmother, and which is really cool about that too is like hopefully one day we get to kind of explore more of the different like ages of beast hunters, because like if you read in Belle 25, maybe in Belle 50, but in Belle 25, they we kind of explain that like it's more of like it's like a curse slash gift that her family and her bloodline has about this beast hunting, and that's why it literally is it goes down to her descendants. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty much she was born into it, and she just needs to accept it because otherwise, she really won't have a happy life without doing it.
Yeah, no, agreed. Her character feels a lot, and I say this a lot when I talk about Pat, but her character feels a lot like Buffy to me because she has this thing that she has to keep doing, and even if she stops doing it, the monsters will still look for her no matter what. So she feels this obligation to fulfill this thing. But I think what's most interesting about Buffy that we'll never get to really see is I want to see the past characters, like who tell us more about the past beast hunters, like what were the things that they faced, and like how did they die? How did the next bloodline come to be?
Well,
Right?
yeah, and that's the cool thing too is like yeah, like you can't retire like sadly unless you have a kid, like or you have a daughter. So it's more like that's pretty much how it goes for them. Um, but yeah, like even in like the previous story was a Belle War of the Giants. We actually got to meet one of Belle's ancestors who were dead, who were previously dead. So you kind of we're trying to like you're going to see a little bit more and more of that like go through because it took us 25 issues to kind of reveal that to everybody, and now it's just kind of like building it out like as we go on Belle's new adventure to kind of redeem herself for the horrible acts that she did in 25. So I mean, hopefully we get to do a little bit more of that. I got plans and ideas for it. So as long as people keep reading it and liking it, then we'll probably get to it.
So stay tuned. I did see another person pop up in the chat that was like, "Great meeting you guys at Motor City." I wonder how many new viewers we'll get for doing this. You get me? Like, I wonder how many new people will be able to see. Like, hey, met you guys at Motor City, and now we're gonna watch NCW every Wednesday. Hear about Zenescope's newest releases
Forever. I hope so. I mean, yeah,
forever.
I mean, that's the crazy thing is like, yeah, because we got so many, we met so many new people that have never heard of our books, and it's like we really can't track of like, oh, okay, well, like now you buy from the site or now you like because we won't see them again until like next year. Or but now with the streams, we can kind of like hear from them. We can be like, oh, like
Yeah,
yeah, I just started there. I'm like, or I just started at San Diego or things like that, which is really cool now because like we've never had this level of interaction, which now we get for these. Like, I mean,
yeah.
it's kind of evolving. So now we're going to go back to live shows, and then we'll get to meet people, meet new people, and then hopefully get them addicted to all of our content from books to streams.
Hopefully. But yeah, so I'm just excited. Future Belle 50, I'll hopefully get a backstory of all of these characters and they'll all come together. And I don't know, the Belle 50, that's what's going to happen.
Well, you find out
Fun.
what Hershey really is, what planet he's from.
Speaking of Hershey, turtles traveled to Greece. Like, what?
He's an emotional support turtle.
Tell me about this flight. Like, how does he go to the bathroom? Are they carrying him in a cage? Like, these are details I need about this pet turtle that has gone to Greece.
That's a one shot. That's a whole other story. We can't like I can't tell you about it. Like it's coming out and it's the lead up to Belle 50.
Will we ever get a POV on Hershey from Hershey?
Not if I want to
That's
keep writing.
and like again, I hate to throw Buffy out there, but like that's one of the best episodes is like the Zeppo episode where like it's told specifically from Xander and all this other stuff keeps happening, but it's like focused on Xander and his storyline. And like that's one of the best episodes because it's so
they
funny.
They did it in Supernatural too. They tell it from the car's point of view. They literally shoot the whole entire episode from inside the car, outside the car. The whole car is the main character. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's probably a cool idea visually on like a movie or TV show, but a comic you might get really, really bored.
No, because we would just be looking at people's shoes like the whole time, like Hershey on the ground.
Or like it's just like there's like 3 pages of this him eating lettuce. It's just.
Guys, would you buy a Hershey focused storyline? Drop it in the comments. Everyone's like, no. But okay, so what I'm interested to know is during the writing process, did you always pick Casey's about it? Did you always pick Greece as the destination because you wanted to dive into this ancient storyline? Or did you say we want to dive into this ancient storyline and then align it with a trip to Greece?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing with Belle's stuff is a lot of her villains and a lot of her monsters she fights are basically Greek mythological like monsters. So it was always going to kind of lead to this because it's going to play an important role in the next few stories and the previous stories. So like, yeah, it was always planned. Because I mean, even that like the maze itself is supposed to be legitimately located in like what is it, Crete, the island of Crete. And then, so it's like, it was always meant to, like, this story was always meant to kind of get to go there.
Yeah. And so then, we were always headed to Greece.
Yeah. And then we're going to get some crazy stuff in the next.
I fed into this. This is my fault.
Well, it's Hershey featuring Belle. Yeah. So like, we're like, even the next story, we're going to get a little more of the mythological stuff. I mean, yeah, I know I can't spoil things. I'm trying to say things without saying things. But yeah, so yeah, we'll keep seeing more of this stuff.
So speaking of Belle and in Greece, she's there obviously with Hershey's keeper, Mel. And it seems that now she's, she was always protective of Mel before, but what happened from Belle 25, obviously, where we won't spoil it, but something happens to Mel. Now she's trying not to include her in things, but Mel's like, I don't care. I'm going to figure this out anyway. Like, what do you see as their friendship moving forward? And how do you think Belle manages to protect her friend, but also not making her friend not feel included?
I mean, I think that's the hard thing for Belle is like, she finally has someone else she can talk to about her life, but at the same time, she doesn't want to cause that person harm. But then at the same time, that person doesn't want to be put in the back seat. So it's like all that stress of like, how do I keep you safe but include you in my life and keep you as my best friend? And I think that's her struggle right now, is kind of like, at least on the emotional end of that, besides the murder, like she murdered her own mom, but there's a little bit of that where it's like, does she just try to distance herself and potentially push her friend, her sister away from her, or does she bring her closer, keep her there for as much as she can, but also this is her way of keeping her safe at the same time?
Yeah,
because we've shown that Mel has been getting pulled into this life that she has more and more, and now that some people like know that who Belle is, that also puts a target on Mel a little bit too.
I don't want to jump ahead too far to the future, but obviously the only way that there can be another descendant of beast hunters is if Belle has some sort of love interest, etc., and has a child. Is that something we'll see? Like, is Belle going to gain a love interest in the future? Or is that like way far in advance? Like she just can't deal with that right now?
I mean, I think right now it's not on her radar, just because she has a lot of things going on, and she always has a lot of things. But I wouldn't say never. I mean, I wouldn't say I can't tell you when. Mostly because I don't want to spoil anything, but also I don't fully know the exact details yet. But I mean, yeah, eventually she's like, you would assume like this bloodline's probably not going to end with Belle, or it shouldn't, because she can't live forever. So I mean, it's definitely something that's like probably in the story for her in the future. But right now, it's more she's focused on like she's got to get her life back to like pretty much together. It's like it wouldn't be responsible for her to bring in another life if she can't even take care of like her friend and a turtle. So
I guess I'm kind of worried that you're gonna die, and not
I'm
that
gonna
that's
die.
gonna happen. That you're gonna die, and and then Belle's storyline, like, will she ever? And then Belle will die, and then that will be the end of beast hunting. I don't know. Maybe this is stress that I just have at 4 a.m, and maybe
I
nobody else has.
think. Well, I think if I died, I think we would. I would hope people would still write her. Like my hope. It's not like we're writing comics, so it's kind of leaves it open to like, okay, they exist in the universe. If I died, I would hope somebody else would write this character and not let her die.
Do you know if I need you to know here and now, Dave? Okay, I need you to make this proclamation that you're fine if you die for us to keep the character alive. Like what if we came together and we're like, we want to retire the character because of Dave's death?
I'd be
But you
upset.
don't want that. Make the
No, I
proclamation.
don't want that. If I die, keep
Good.
it going.
Okay,
The whole
everyone
point
heard
of
it.
creating stuff is to make sure it lives forever. And you gotta and like there's always gonna be other people's stories or renditions and things like that. That's cool about comics is like you look at any comic and it's been like you look at like some of the stuff from Marvel and DC, it's been around for 70, 80 years. Like the people that created them clearly aren't alive and weren't even writing them whether we're still alive. Like would I like to write Belle until I die? It'll be awesome. But I mean, is that in the cards? Who knows? Like, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I'm gonna write it as long as everybody lets me and people like it. So
How
hopefully
long do we have till Belle 50? Like 2 years?
longer than that because we do about 7 issues a year.
Oh my
And we're
jeez.
on
I'll see you guys in
basically
like 5 to 10 years.
I mean, yeah, we're basically I mean, who knows? We might change the way we do our publishing. Like right now we're doing the one shot, so it kind of spreads it out a little bit more. But if we go back to miniseries or if we do things differently, I mean, we don't know. I mean, year to year it kind of changes. But right now we're technically at issue 28, 29. So it's another 20 issues. It's another 2.5 years. Yeah, isn't it? Like it's getting like really dark, and I'm talking about like the end of my life for Amber.
I'm sorry. This is stuff I'm curious about. That and that's what's funny too, is like that was the last question I had. So
Yeah, it was like that was the end. It was the death of their questions.
this is what happened. So yeah, this is what it's like. If you guys haven't seen an NCW before, this is what it's like when Dave's on. My snick with Dave is the fact that he won't tell me what his favorite cover is, and we'll talk about Hershey for a while. If Joe's on, Joe will yell at
my mortality.
Exactly. We'll talk about your mortality. If Joe's on, he'll just yell at me because I didn't prep him with questions. And then he'll sit there and say, you should have prepped me with questions. If Ralph's on, we'll probably get into some sort of fight. And then if Jenna's on, I'll just talk about how great Jenna is the whole time. I really need to have I need to have somebody who does the interiors on or somebody like that in the future. Cause I feel like that's what's really interesting. Like when we had Taylor Esposito on, like so many people messaged me and said that was one of the most interesting NCWs. Like I didn't realize how he did, like what a letterer does and how you get into that.
Well, I mean, that's the crazy thing is a lot of people don't know. Like the letter is just as essential as like the colorist and the penciler. Like it's really crazy. Like they literally bring everything together. Like if you have a person that doesn't know how to letter and they do it, it really could bring the book down. Where the letter is like Taylor or Carlos or Kurt, all the people we work with, Saida, like they really take it to like another level. And even with the sound effects, things that you don't think about, but when they slide it in the books and you're like, you notice them, but they're not like jarring, where they're like they feel like part of the artwork and the flow. It's really crazy. I mean, like I never even knew that. Like I never even thought about that until we got in. Like I got in the editing side of it. I'd always be like, oh, this is like I'm reading a comic book. That's it. But like, there's so much in it. It's really crazy.
I love all these Robert death questions. Just like a quick side note, so you guys all know, it has been my lifelong dream to be made into a book. If you ever go to the museum down here, what's it called?
Mutter Museum.
The Mutter Museum, that's right. The Mutter Museum has like weird science oddities. And in there, back then, people's skin used to be made into book covers. And so when I saw that and I like went to my boyfriend, I was like, I want to be made into a book cover. And he's like, absolutely not. And so now I like said, I'm going to put it into my will that I want to be made into a book cover. I want someone to own me I'll be dead, right? Like, it doesn't matter. And he's like, I'll only do that if I get a Viking funeral. So now we both have just crazy.
But like, is it just like your back skin? Is it like your face stretched over a book? Like
I don't know. I think they like skinned you and then like made you the cover of the book. But if you ever go to the Modern Museum, you can see books made out of people's
I think
skin.
we go for the
Like,
face. We go for the face, and you got like the book, and it's always, you put it on the shelf, and it's always just staring at people. Like, I think that works. Creepy, but I think it could be good.
So that was a complete side note. Anyway, Dave, thank you so much for joining us on NCW. This was really morbid, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, we have terrible things in our brain. Thank you. Thanks for
having me. I'll see you back on in a couple weeks, probably. Oh, Michael's been to the Mutter Museum. See?
Oh, cool.
You guys haven't been, go to Philly, go to the Mutter Museum. You'll see some of the craziest stuff that you've ever seen. You see, there's a girl, you'll see what it was like when girls wore corsets, how like took in their ribs so much, how bad it was. You'll see the world's largest colon, I think, is there.
People drive to see the world's largest colon. That's good.
I haven't been to the Mutter Museum in years, but I love going there because, again, and then look for the books that are made out of skin. So you can be like, this is what Amber wants.
Yeah. Oh, well, you don't want to be stuffed. You don't want to be taxidermied.
No, taxidermy is great. Although I will tell you that I went to one of the world's largest taxidermy museums, and that's in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And so they have all this, like, they have all these animals. And my favorite one is, I think there was like a beaver that was run over, and literally they put, he's just flat on like a car, and there's like tracks going through him. And I'm like, why did somebody keep this?
That's
yeah. So if you live in around Fayetteville, North Carolina, and you go, there's like one of the largest taxidermy museums that I've been to as well. Okay. Well, it was great having you on, Dave. Casey, you can pull Dave up.
All right, thanks.
Sorry about that. I went on a very long rant, but I could talk about the Mutter Museum all day. I think it's very cool. I like science and weird oddities, which I'm sure everybody on this stream knows, but somebody had their wedding reception there, Michael. Like, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that could happen. I did always want to, again, side note, I did always want to get married in a cemetery, which I think is really cool, or have like a reception at a cemetery. And I had like a whole plan, or like a haunted house, be creepy. And there was like a whole like Saw component where people would have to play a game to get to their wedding table. Like, it's all stuff I thought about before. Okay. Sorry, we're really off topic on this NCW, and I apologize. Anyway, staying tuned. Yes, Daniel, if you go to Philly in August, make sure you go to the Mutter Museum. Also, make sure you go to Jim's, which is my favorite cheesesteak place. And on a side note, on the way home from Motor City, as I was going through security, I ended up being next to Jamie Kennedy in line. And we ended up striking up a conversation. He was super sweet, total sweetheart, very, very nice. And it turns out that he's actually from Upper Darby, which is outside of Philly. And so we were chatting for a while, and he confirmed that Jim's is the best cheesesteak place here. So Jamie Kennedy is a real one. He was a total sweetheart, and he's number one, because everybody will tell you it's Tony Luke's, but it's not. It's Jim's. Jim's on South Street. So when you go, go. Okay, moving forward. Anyway, so today's release, Belle Labyrinth, was $5.99 in our web store, written by our own Dave Franchini. So if you get a chance, make sure you check out our web store to pick it up, or you go to your local comic shop, etc. But go to our web store, get it. And yes, Jamie Kennedy from Scream. He's from the Scream 1, Scream 2, Malibu's Most Wanted. Total sweetheart. Really shout him out. He was really great. Anyway, so next week's release, I don't know if Casey has banners up because I can't see in the background. So I'm trusting that we'll just see it on here. Or maybe we won't see it. Yeah. We have 3 releases, or 4 releases. We have a couple of releases. I will not be joining you on NCW. It will not be me. It will be Casey next week. I will be on site for Star Wars Celebration and working Star Wars Celebration. So Casey will be joining you on NCW, but then I will be there the following NCW, which will be a very exciting NCW. It will be taking place on June 1st, which will be my 30th birthday. So I will have my own 30th birthday theme for NCW in 2 weeks. So if you're around on that Wednesday, it'll be awesome to celebrate with my favorite people, these people on the streams. So we had a stipulation for NCW this past week that if you came up to the booth and you asked for the showcase cover, I would hook it up. And because Robert raved so much about the show, he's the best. He is our winner for the NCW showcase cover. He gave me his address. We're going to send it to him. But I'm very, very excited. So thanks, Robert, for tuning in and hanging out with us today. Next week's stipulation, I'll let Casey pop it up on the screen. Fill out your post-show survey. Send a confirmation to Casey, and one of you will be randomly selected for the showcase cover. So yeah, I'm reading the comments. It will be my dirty 30. I will be 30 years old. I've had a hard time coming to terms with that, but now I'm a little excited because we're 2 weeks away. My mommy is actually throwing me a birthday party. It's going to be a 90s themed birthday party, so I'm very excited. My mom's the best in the world. I'm going to see her next week. She's staying with me at Star Wars Celebration, so I'm hyped. Okay, well, there's a lot going on, and I know this has been a long NCW, so I apologize, but later today, you're going to want to check out our VCon. It's day 2, aka the final day of our cosplay con, and there will be a cosplay competition that will be taking place at 7 p.m., and yours truly will be a judge on this cosplay competition. So I will be seeing everybody at 7 p.m. To judge the cosplay competition, to see some awesome cosplays, and it'll be my first return to VCons in a while. Like, I haven't been on in a couple of months, so I'm excited to see all the awesome cosplays and to be also joined by Rebecca Ross, who was our previous cosplay winner, who helped work our booth this past weekend, and Crystal Starr, who you guys know from Movie Club. On top of that, our next retailer live stream, I believe, I don't know, oh wait, I think it took place on Tuesday. I could be wrong, or it's coming up this Tuesday. No, it's coming up next week. There we go. It's May 24th. I'm all over the place on dates. It's with Comic Hero U, so make sure you tune in on May 24th at 4 p.m. to support Comic Hero U. Retailers are very important, so please support them. On top of that, our next movie club will be taking place very shortly. I'll wait till Casey pulls up the graphic. There we go. Total Recall. Taking place May 25th, next Wednesday after NCW. So make sure you watch NCW with Casey and then you watch Movie Club. And then if you live in the Phoenix area, Casey and Noah and Jason will all be at Phoenix Fan Fusion Memorial Day weekend. Come by our booth 1658 and 1660. Come hang out with us the entire weekend. I will not be there. As I mentioned, I will be on site Star Wars Celebration, but you guys are awesome, so make sure you tune in. Yes, Rebecca did have awesome cosplays last week, Daniel. She got to dress up as our Hellchild character and Sky. I dressed up as Hellchild one day. You can kind of see some pictures on our Facebook and Twitter if you go through and check it out. Don't forget that every Monday at 1 p.m. there's Coffee with Casey and Noah, or according to my notes, Tuesdays if we're feeling spicy. That makes me laugh. Tuesdays we're feeling spicy. It's Coffee with Casey and Noah. But usually if I can assume that Coffee with Casey and Noah won't be taking place. It'll be taking place this next Monday, but the following, it'll probably be taking place on Tuesday because that Monday is Memorial Day. So I assume that you guys will see them all then. But make sure you come hang out with them. They talk all things pop culture, including Zenescope. And I knew that they're doing a graphic novel series right now where they're going through past graphic novels that we posted before. We have a lot of awesome subscriptions out, so make sure you check out our subscription place. Zenescope Black is still unlimited free shipping. And we launched a new subscription, which we talked about a couple of times, called The Secret Stash. So head to our web store, check out those. They're awesome. I love this cover, by the way. I think I'm going to rock Robin Hood at San Diego Comic-Con. Like, I was talking about that with Ralph, and I love Hellchild, but I know that we got some diehard Robin fans out here, and I haven't rocked it since I killed Mr. Robot. I mean, Mr. Robot accidentally died, and that was, what, like 6-7 months ago? So it's been a while since I rocked Robin Hood, but it might be time. Okay, that's it. I'll see everybody tonight on the VCon. Make sure that you tune in. It starts at 6 p.m., and it's been awesome to see everybody. This has been Amber with NCW, with Zenescope, where you come for the covers, but you stay for the stories. I will see everybody